Come in, Miss Whitehead.
Thanks, Mr. Castleman.
Grady told me Blackford didn't go anywhere without you. He didn't tell me that you went anywhere without Blackford.
Grady doesn't know as much as he thinks. I had a talk with Martin last night. The office idea's okay. He's agreed to come in.
Is there any question about it?
Yeah, a big question. Martin has an important position with a very old and reliable firm. He has a reputation to maintain. He'd be giving up quite a lot to come in with you.
Oh, really? Martin Blackford is 34 years old. He earns $60 a week at Tuttle and Wagner. He lives with his mother in a cheap suburb. He drives a broken-down jalopy. Until he was hired by Grady, he never owned more than 2 suits of clothes at one time.
Well, there are other things. The terms. And there's a little matter of protection.
Protection? From whom?
Well, from whoever you need protection from, or is running a bookie joint legal these days.
Miss Whitehead, I never initiate a project until I'm assured of the cooperation of the proper authorities. As for the terms, I think Mr. Blackford can safely leave those to me.
No, I didn't mean to give you a fast shuffle. It's just that, well, he hasn't had much experience at this kind of thing.
You seem a little new at it yourself. Sit down. Now, what did you really come to see me about?
Well,
Excuse me while I open the window. What kind of perfume are you using?
Temptation.
Yes, I suppose it is in some quarters.
Let me tell you
Now,
something.
what were you going to say?
I was about to say it was a pleasure being associated with a gentleman, but I made a mistake. It's no pleasure and you're no gentleman. You enjoy making a person look like 2 cents, don't you? Well, get this straight. I don't like being made to look like 2 cents, especially by somebody who was small change himself not so long ago.
Now, what do you mean by that?
I mean Joe Cavaney, who changed his name to George Castleman. You and your Etruscan flower pots. You and your sensitive nose. Since when did Joe Cavaney know anything about perfume? Since you were a loudmouth hoodlum hijacking beer trucks in Jersey, running rum from Cuba, plugging guys for a $10 bill? I can find out things, too.
You didn't waste any time.
I don't have any time to waste. I'm legal.
Oh, no, wait a minute. I made the mistake last night. I should have invited you into the library. I admire a woman with brains, but a woman with brains and spirit excites me. A woman like that reminds me of Joe Cavaney. What is it you want?
I want what Joe Cavaney wanted, and what George Castleman has.
I think you're quite capable of getting it, too. Must be a place in my organization for someone like you.
I already have a place in your organization.
I had in mind a somewhat more prominent place. Although there's quite a lot you'll have to learn.
I could learn it.
For example, lesson number 1. It's an Etruscan vase, not a flower pot. Being able to own it is one thing. To appreciate it is another. Lesson number 2, cheap perfume is cheap perfume, no matter who tells you, Cavaney or Castleman. And lesson number 3, take that loud hat off your head. A well-dressed woman never wears anything that deflects a man's attention from her face. Now that I see it, it's a very pretty face.
Exactly what kind of place in your organization did you have in mind, Mr. Castleman?
It's too soon to judge. We'll have to see in which direction your capabilities lie.
You're asking for trouble, aren't you?
I never got anything yet worthwhile without trouble. Only don't take this kiss for anything more than it's worth.
It may be worth more than you think. Would you please pour me another bourbon, Mr. Fowler?
Yeah, sure. There you are.
Thank you. When a girl from the wrong side of the tracks wants sables and minks in a hurry, she hasn't time to ask too many questions, has she? George Castleman was my kind of guy. Rich, affluent, and we began seeing quite a bit of each other, privately, that is. And one day I visited Martin in his new office. George was there.
Hello, Ethel.
Hi, Marty.
Ethel, now that I have a private office, there's something private I'd like to say.
What's that?
Here. When I was a kid, they used to call it an engagement ring. I've been wanting to say it a long time. This just makes it official. Go ahead, put it on.
No, I can't.
You mean you can't now?
No, I mean I can't ever.
But I thought you told me after we got all this...
You don't need me anymore, Marty. You're on your way. You're a success. Oh, look, go find yourself another girl, will you? A girl as nice as you are.
I don't want another girl. I want you. I always thought well, as soon as we got what we wanted, that you and I...
But I'm no good for you.
I never said you were, but that doesn't matter. It's too late for that. I want you to marry me.
I'm sorry, Marty.
You're sorry? What kind of an answer is that? Then why did you do this to me? This office, that wire room, this whole stinking business. Do you think I wanted it? I hate it. I hate every part of it. I only did it because of you. I did it for you, Ethel. I thought it was the only way I could have you.
Well, you had no right to think that.
You made me think.
I didn't make you do anything. If you didn't want all this, you didn't have to take it. And if you don't want it now, you can leave. Nobody's holding you. Nobody's twisting your arm.
You couldn't have done this to me deliberately. You couldn't have planned it this way. No, something must have happened. There's somebody else. That's it, isn't it? Answer me.
Yes. He's promised me the world, Marty. And I've got to have it.
This world he's promised you. Does it include a ring like this?
I never asked. I'm not even sure it matters. I can't help it, Marty. I just can't help myself.
I'm afraid I'll have to be pushing along, Marty. I thought if Miss Whitehead wanted a lift, I'd be glad to drop her.
So long, Marty. I'm ready, Mr. Castleman.
Miss Whitehead?
Yeah?
I'm Patricia Longworth. A mutual friend told me I might find you here in this bar. May I join you?
Yeah, of course.
He tells me you're interested in a new apartment and some new clothes, etc. He thought I might be able to offer some helpful advice.
If George thinks I need advice, why doesn't he give it to me himself? Or doesn't he want to be seen with me in public?
Miss Whitehead, I happen to know that our friend sees rather great potentialities in you. So far as being seen with you in public, well, you must remember he is a married man and... well, he does occupy a position of some importance in the community.
Okay, I'll buy that. Now, just who are you and how do you fit in? What are you selling?
My old social contacts. Some of them are still open, and they have a certain market value to some of my newer contacts. People such as our friend. Now, let's start with your name. Ethel Whitehead. I wonder if we couldn't find something more provocative. Let's see now. How about Mrs. Forbes? Mrs. Lorna Hanson Forbes.
Suits me.
Steel, isn't it? Or is it tobacco?
No oil.
Oh.
There were derricks in my backyard.
Now, I'd say you need one more thing. A touch of the continent. The south of France. You know, broadening your scope, giving you the proper background. And that will take about a year.
A year?
If we work diligently at the job.
Now, repeat after me, Madame Forbes. Voulez-vous aller au ballet avec moi?
Huh?
Repeat after me. Voulez-vous aller au ballet avec moi?
Voulez-vous aller au ballet avec moi?
Oh, bien, bien.
Mrs. Lorna Hanson Forbes charge accounts. Mink coat, $6,000. Champagne, $3,000. Diamond bracelet.
Darling.
But your discretion, George. All these people watching us.
Who cares about people? You're beautiful.
Oh, my darling.
Mission completed.